look disheveled. I look really tired, and that is because, no joke, I am like, I don't know why, I'm just really struggling like with sleeping and being so tired. I'll catch you up. The last couple of weeks I've been doing 2 jobs, and I've been like transitioning in between the 2 so I can like wrap up 1 job before Christmas, and that was kind of like a lot on my plate. I think I wouldn't say I took on too much because it wasn't like hard in any way, you know, when you know a job, but I think it's the fact that I was also learning a new job, and that was really hard. So I was like wrapping up this job and learning this other job coming into Christmas. There is just a lot. As you have just seen, my morning is just pretty crazy, and that's kind of like, I think it's a reflection of what all mornings are going to look like for a little while. Really high note for us right now is the fact that it looks like we are going to spend Christmas with our family in Sydney this year. I don't know if you guys have been following me since last year, but check out that one. It looks like this year, it looks like we're both double vaxxed, so there really shouldn't be any issues, I don't think. We just have to, like, on the terms, we have to like come back, do our PR tests and make sure that we're negative. But yeah, the only downside of that is I think maybe Savannah might need to get one as well, and I'm like not keen on that, but anyway, what can you do? So today I have like a huge day. I have like the real estate coming out. It's my first day like being full-time at my new job. Horses. I am like sometimes really good around horses, and other days I'm just like not really good at all. But we have a really big couple of days coming up, and like I sort of want to vlog them all, including Vlogmas, including Ryan's birthday. Yeah, and I'm actually spending like a month down in Sydney with Savannah with our families. So anyway, I'm going to stop talking. I am going to have like a bit of a sit down catch up with you guys when I have my lunch break, because as per my previous vlog, I advise that I am, you know, doing mentally well. I mean, obviously we're going to have like our tired days and like our down days and our up days. Yeah, that's what I'm planning on doing. I'm going to have to quickly wrap this up. I'm going to get myself some avocado on toast, I think. I'm hungry. Okay, so it's lunch. I am literally just having a chicken, lettuce, mayo, cheese sandwich. Just something quick and easy because I am super busy. I just wanted to have a chat to you guys. Last time when I vlogged, I said like I'm back to, you know, my mental health state, and I want to talk about mental health. I'm just going to make my lunch and then I will come back to you guys. Okay, I literally just got a little sandwich. It's not the best, but first rule of thumb is I never put pressure on myself when I'm eating anything. I have like a bit of a balanced diet. If I want chocolate, I'll have chocolate, but I just make sure that I balance it out. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, I've really learnt to appreciate my body since having a baby as well. So yeah, but that's not what we are out here having a chat. My life has been like really up and down, like most people, and especially at this time of year. I think it's like a really common thing. I'm just going to take these off because it's reflecting. As I mentioned before, the last few weeks have been crazy because I've been in between 2 jobs, and yeah, I don't know, like I think like learning a new job just sucks a lot out of you. Like it really is like a lot. And then also, you know, working with a baby, being a mom, all that kind of stuff, it's just it's a lot. I think a lot of people can relate to this as well. Even mentally and emotionally, that has sort of done a lot to me as well, because I pretty much had like a career change so that I can work from home and be with Savannah. And to be honest, like the career change isn't like a really big thing because I like talking about mental health, and I am actually working now with a lot of mental health things. So my full background will now be like mental health, following something that I'm really quite passionate about. And I just want to talk about like ending chapters and starting new chapters. Like I just feel like between 2019 and 2021 there's been so many chapters that I've like opened and closed, and I've changed through every single one of them. And basically that's what I always like to think about. Like my perspective of like chapters closing and starting is like a new skin has been shed. If you've been following me for a little while, I used to talk about mental health quite a bit, and I did stop for a little while because I did go through quite a bit myself. I was mentally pretty okay. My emotional side of things was like really, I don't know, if we can balance it, right? This is like good, the even balance. My emotional health was very low. And yeah, I think I really struggled with that. I struggled to connect with people, and in previous sort of vlogs and things, I have spoken about feeling disconnected from home, feeling disconnected from my dogs, feeling disconnected from my family, my friends. Everything was like disconnected, and that was kind of like a very internal sort of thing that was happening. Mentally I was feeling okay. I had started to maintain my anxiety. I had started maintaining my depression. I hadn't been maintaining my emotional side of things, and yeah, that really threw me out. Now thinking about it, it's like, yeah, my mental health was completely out of whack, but I didn't realize that that was also like attached to like this emotional thing as well. So the last 2 years I have been emotionally healing, and I couldn't do that in front of the camera because there are some really raw times that had to just play out, and there was some really difficult times that I also had to sort of work out. And doing that in front of the camera, I just don't believe that that was the right route to do it. I think it was just best if I had just played it out and worked on it. So basically the full story, I'm gonna obviously break this up like over an amount of time, like over so many vlogs, because it'll kind of like tie into exactly like what's led me to where I was and how I am now. My parents they divorced, well, separated when I was a baby. It wasn't a very nice sort of relationship to start off with anyway, which is unfortunate, but you know, I was kind of like the product of that bad relationship. Like we can think about that even in a good relationship. When you have children in a good relationship and then it turns sour, it's still bad. And I think it's just like that extra level up when the two parents were not willing to be in a relationship anyway, and it was kind of bad. Anyway, that's their story, not mine. But you know, that has obviously had like a bit of an impact on me, because throughout the years I had to bear the condition of that. And I'm not going to go into a lot of things about it because it's long gone, and I'm willing and happy to sort of like move forward from that. It is what it is, but there was just a lot of things that I had to deal with when I was young, and so my anxiety was already progressing from a very young age, to the point I got into trouble for my auntie's wedding. I pulled out all of my eyelashes, and yeah, I remember just having to sit there for hours writing out lines. I will not pull out my eyelashes. And I was the flower girl. So yeah, you know, and I don't think like anybody knew like anxiety, depression. In the early 90s, you know, anxiety, depression wasn't a real big thing. So nobody knew that it was sort of like a thing of me hurting myself. I don't know, I was probably hurting myself. I don't know. So, you know, anxiety stemmed from that time. And then my sister came on and I sort of felt really pushed out, and there were just like little things there where it was kind of like I could see that she was with her mum and dad and I kind of wasn't, and like the relationship was a little bit different at that point. And you know, that was sort of like an internal thing for me emotionally. And then as I got older, it progressed, and then there was just like a lot of things that had happened from there. That's kind of like just the backstory, and that is literally the bare surface of it all. But I'm not going to bore you with all the issues and things that I had to deal with. And then came the time when I had to leave school and I had to work, and you know, money started getting involved in all these things, and my own independence started becoming a thing here then too, and all of that ended up just exploding. And by 21 I just kept fighting and fighting and fighting with my parents, and well, with my mother and my stepfather, and it just became kind of unbearable for me. I was very sick and I just couldn't deal with it anymore. There was a lot of things being thrown at me saying that I was the issue. Then there was like a day where I went into work and I received this message from my mother, and I broke down at work. And basically from there, you know, my boss actually took me in, and I had only been there for like a month, I think. And so I was living with these strangers who have done like such a really beautiful thing. And then it was just a lot of trying to heal things with my mother and my stepfather, and it just wasn't working out the way how I wanted it to. And then fast forward that till I got married, and the wedding. I think you guys have heard a lot about my wedding, where there was like some issues that I had to deal with, and one of them was the fact that my mother didn't turn up to my wedding. And I've only come to a point now where I feel like I'm okay to say this, because it's just gotten to a point where I'm now 29, I've had a baby, and I've now just really, I can really see this picture where I'm just like, you know, you gotta learn to let go. Like, you have to let go, because otherwise you're just gonna keep getting into this reoccurring sort of situation where I would keep getting hurt. I would still expect, you know, good things. Anyway, going back to the wedding, I made a promise to myself that if she doesn't turn up, that would be the end of the thing. Like, I can't keep holding on to something that doesn't want to reciprocate, doesn't want to put me first, and doesn't make me a priority. And it just became very, very clear. And I even put things in place, because my dad was at my wedding, and it was almost like I had this decision to make, whether it was like my mother or my father. Whereas I kind of felt like they were both on the same sort of scale to me, and I still put my mum on like another tier on top of my dad, because of, you know, it's a mother-daughter thing. I mean, not every day was bad, let me tell you, and that's why you hold on to the good. And you know, you only want the best. Like, you only want the best for that. And I still try to put things in place to make sure that my mother and my father didn't have to collide in any way or have any interaction with one another, and it still just wasn't good enough. So I really tried my best on that situation and in that situation, but it tore me apart. As much as I gained so much from myself, I lost so much from myself as well, and it changed me as a person. It really, really changed me as a person, and I hadn't been the same since I hadn't really found myself until the start of 2020. So we got married back in 2017, all that time, 2020, is where I started feeling my surroundings. I started getting my bearings. I started to do all that because I had to reinvent myself with something not in my life anymore, and that was a really hard thing. So anyway, this is back to like the chapters. I had to close off certain chapters, and they've all got different colors on these bows. On these bows, I like to call in my head, I just like to close my eyes and go, I really take like a really big deep breath in, and I let go, and I sort of just go, okay, that chapter is wrapped up in a beautiful big black bow, or red bow, or blue bow, or whatever it might be, pink, whatever color, because colors represent something and they all mean different things to different people. For me, if it's like in a black bow, that is kind of like the chapter that was after my wedding and till 2020. It's kind of like wrapped up in this big black bow with blue spots all over it. And the reason why it's two colors is because blue to me represents change. It represents flow, movement, and you know, if you think about blue water, like water like resembles blue if you're painting a picture, and that's like a running stream, or it could be waves, it could be whatever. It's movement, it's flowing, it's change. It can change, the tides change, blah 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 blah. Anyway, and the black is because it was a dark time. It was a really dark, hard time for me. If you are going through something and you end up coming at the end of it and you feel like it's time to sort of move forward, a really big thing that I love to do is to sit there, take a big breath in, let it go, and put a bow on that chapter and go, you can stay there. That was great. That was great. Thank you for all that you taught me, but we are done. And then that put me into like the start of 2020, and I think there was like a chapter there where it's been wrapped up in a blue bow because there was a lot of change, there was a lot of reciprocation and responsibility, and yeah, there was so much that I could go into that, and I really felt like I shed a skin in that time after that, because I really came to myself, and I'm not impressed with some of the things that had happened in between that time. And yeah, like, but I'm happy to sit here and to say that I take full responsibility of everything that had happened. I was going through a really dark time, and it shouldn't be ever an excuse, and I have always said to like never judge anybody, and never judge anybody unless you've been in that situation. And I once judged somebody who was going through something, and when she would come to work, I used to work with this lady, and she used to tell me things, and I'll be like, how can you freaking do that? Like, how? Like, why? Like, what the heck, you know? And now I just sit there and I just go, wow. And she actually came up to me, and I came up to her, and I apologized, and I said, it's just this pivotal moment of not to judge somebody else when you haven't been in those shoes, and to feel those emotions. Once you can emotionally feel something, when you read it in writing or when somebody else is telling it, it makes no sense as to why, or you know, like it doesn't feel right to you because it's not your situation. So I think like this vlog in particular is a thing of, if you have been in a dark place and people have judged you, I think the ultimate thing is just to take responsibility as to whatever had happened in that time, and to grow from it, shed that skin and become that better person that you want to be, because it takes the bad version of us to show us where we are going wrong and to bring us back to our better versions. And that's all we're ever doing. We're trying to be the better versions of ourselves. Always take responsibility, shed, change, and embrace the change, because it will all just fall into place. What is meant to be will fall into place. You know, this is quite a deep conversation. This is the first time I've ever I've never really opened up about the fact that my mother didn't turn up to my wedding. I've had people tell me there is no point in saying it. What are you going to get at? And you know, she might not be happy about it. She might not be happy about it. However, I'm not happy with a lot of things, and I've learnt to, you know, deal with it and to come to terms with it, and that's just exactly what I had to do. And the decisions and the choices and the actions is what hurts me. Yeah, it's been a big thing, and it's been a big movement in my life, and yeah, it's been pretty intense. It's been a pretty intense couple of years, and yeah, I'm like feeling so much better. I have my beautiful daughter, and oh, she is everything to me. I just love her so much. I don't know, I don't even know how to like end this, but yeah, it's just like a big thing of, if you have gone through something, just recognize the beautiful lessons that chapter was trying to teach you. And I think like that's the best that you can do. And always look forward, shed your skin, change, be the better version of yourself, and yeah, the rest will follow for sure. So yeah, anyway, I've only eaten a little bit. I've only eaten half of my sandwich, and my lunch break is like nearly up, so I'm going to run. I'm going to end this vlog. I'm going to go pick up Savannah soon. She's at school, well, daycare, and I'm going to finish off my work because I have got so much to do. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.